Hello and welcome back to ThrillNet and welcome to you guessed it, another Blackpool Pleasure Beach video, as we've had a little bit of a surprising statement published on the website this evening by the park that reveals some of their future plans going into 2025 and beyond, including a few ride closures. So I just wanted to discuss that to make you aware, along with share my opinions. So the statement starts off by acknowledging the fact that the park last year announced that they are entering a huge transformation period. We obviously saw the official renaming of the place to Pleasure Beach Resort, although I still choose to call it Blackpool Pleasure Beach because I'm just stubborn like that. And it essentially just acknowledges the fact that this is a huge turning point for the park and that they are looking to make some big changes going forward. We then see an acknowledgement about Launchpad, the current refurbishment that is going on with Ice Blast, and the fact that the extended closure of that ride should be worth it, as Launchpad is going to see Ice Blast transformed into a ride that is more themed, immersive, and provides a more exhilarating and forceful ride experience than before. The park then go on to acknowledge the fact that a few of their smaller rides and attractions are going to be closed throughout the entirety of 2025, and they say that having examined the various ride data that they've collected for each of these rides, they can see that these rides are some of the least popular on park and have the lowest throughput. So the rides in question here are the Eddie Stobart Convoy ride, the Thompson Carousel, Alpine Rally, the Gallopers Carousel, which is the carousel just by the entrance to Big One, and also Red Arrow Skyforce. They've not specified exactly why these rides are going to be closed. I have two theories. I think it could either be for cost-cutting measures, as similar to Merlin, it's no secret that Blackpool Pleasure Beach are struggling financially at the moment. However, we've also got to consider the fact that quite a few of those rides were in quite close proximity to the Grand Prix, which obviously got demolished over close season and throughout the back end of last season. So could this be a good sign that we are going to be seeing the start of some construction for a new attraction that Amanda Thompson promised will replace the Grand Prix over the course of this season? Either of these could be true. I mean, Gallopers and Skyforce aren't exactly within the Grand Prix ride area, which is why I believe that it could also be due to cost cutting that they're choosing to close these rides. I just hope that these rides do come back one day and that they haven't been closed for good with no prior notice. It really is frustrating when parks do that, and it annoys both enthusiasts and the general public alike. So I hope this isn't the case and this is just going to be a temporary closure for the duration of this season. Interestingly, the Dodgems under Revolution were also closed for a good period of last season, and they're not mentioned on the list of rides to be closed throughout the duration of 2025. So are we going to see the Dodgems come back? As much as I'm really not a fan of them, I do hope so for capacity's sake. The park have finally acknowledged the fact that River Caves has been closed for an extended period of time, and excitingly they've stated that they are going to be announcing more regarding the future of that ride soon. Hopefully they are going to go all out of it and do a Valhalla and do a full reimagining of it, because the length of time it's been closed and the fact that even prior to that it was in a poor state, I think it really does need some TLC. God knows how much a reimagining of that ride would cost. I imagine it wouldn't cost as much as Valhalla, but it'd still be pretty expensive. But I take this as good news. They finally acknowledged the fact it's been closed. Better late than never. They're finally being transparent about it, and it seems that that ride is in good hands. There's also a little teaser in this statement surrounding the Vengeance Most Foul film, the latest Wallace and Gromit film that released over the Christmas time. Obviously, we rode Wallace and Gromit last week as it was open during the Nickelodeon Land only days, and there were no changes scenery-wise in there. And I speculated that the park may add one or two new scenes in there to reflect the new film. However, we may not see that until next season. And based off this little teaser here, I imagine that that is going to be the case now. And finally, we've got a little section on Grand National that acknowledges the fact that it's its 90th anniversary this year, which is already more than they acknowledged for the big one last year, with that ride having its 30th anniversary back in 2024. So fair play, Pleasure Beach. And they've also stated that the ride is going to be closed at the start of the 2025 season as they carry out a bit of TLC on it for the 90th celebrations. So I imagine we may well see some work similar to what we saw for Big Dipper's 100th anniversary back in 2023. Maybe a little bit of repainting work of the ride structure and or the station. And hopefully they're potentially going to look to get the ride back on 4 trains as well, as it only ran 2 trains, one on each side of the track for the majority of last season. Now, I'm no engineer, but the only theory I have as to why that was the case could be due to some health and safety regulation updates surrounding its braking system. So if that is the case, hopefully that does get looked into and we see the ride back on 4 trains again, because at the end of the day that's going to double the capacity, which is a good thing. But overall, I'm really happy with this statement. It's good to see Pleasure Beach being a little bit more transparent for once and communicating with us fans and the general public, because unfortunately that is not something they've been good at all in the past few years. I've obviously referred to the Nickelodeon Land Only days in this video. If you want to see what that was all about, then make sure you check out the video on the right side of your screen, as it's my vlog I filmed on the opening day of that event. And for more things theme park related in the UK and beyond, make sure you click the icon in the centre of your screen to subscribe.